Morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to another AMA. This is our third AMA of this month. It's, as usual, it's happening on Tuesday. So hello to everyone here. Thank you very much for being here. Hello to everyone that's going to watch us later on YouTube. And as usual, I'm going to say hello to our Australian friends because we know that they are all asleep right now. News from this week. We did have some mishaps this week with the arena, and of course one of them had to happen during the weekend. The other one happened during the time that I was asleep. So when I woke up, it was a pleasure waking up and seeing that the arena was broken. So immediately, as usual, I went straight to the devs. Because the problem is sometimes these errors don't actually register on their side. So you guys notice it much faster than we do because you are actively playing it. Right? So on our end, we see the servers are running, everything's okay. Or on dev side. This week, one of the errors, even though this all is in the blog, but I can go through them. One of the issues was related to the system that we use to create the randomness in our system, which is the chain link. I spoke with the dev about it. They told me that was pretty much related to some gas calculations that they've made, because they didn't want to deposit too much on that account for the simple reason that starting now with season 2, the randomness will actually be created on our end, so we won't be so much dependent on other systems. So we're trying to become as independent as possible. So the initial calculations that were made would last until the beginning of season 2. Clearly, something went wrong at some point. Fees went to the assumption is the fees went too high at some point, and no one noticed. And the funds that were there were spent much faster than expected. The other issue was basically a server connection with the outside. Like I said, it was something that took a bit longer to fix because they actually wanted to isolate the problem and make sure it wouldn't happen again. They did manage to isolate that issue. According to them, that is fixed, but they were still going to go and check what was going on there and make sure everything was running okay and there would be no other issues. In terms of updates, we had a new sneak peek today, and I know everyone's disappointed. Everyone wanted to see Dodge doing the fire breathing. I also wanted to see the fire breathing. I even asked the dev if he was sure what he sent me, and then they explained to me. The reason is basically everything was fine until that moment, and then the special attack, the fire breathing attack, because there was actually another special attack after that from the opponent from Pepe. They weren't quite happy what it looked like, so their recommendation was literally, can you not show it right now? We would prefer to improve this a little bit, and then in a few days show how we actually want it to look like, how it's going to look for the game. So don't worry, we're going to see the special attack in a few days. Nothing to worry, and it's going to happen before the game is released. All right, I think that is in terms of updates from my side. Zeus, updates on your end?
Yeah, no, not a whole ton. I was going to ask Hermes, do we have I think that in that one direct message chat, we were talking about potentially leaking maybe another animated background or so of sorts. Like the biggest thing I think that would help as like artillery and ammunition for all these people that are, have been doing amazing in the Ninja group and whatnot is some content, right? Just sneak peeks into what's to come, and I know we've been a little, slower in getting that out, but at the same time, like I've said multiple times, it doesn't take more than a couple days to build up the excitement and hype in this world. But were we going to start leaking a couple things from the drive?
We do have plans to leak a couple more animated backgrounds this week, so you guys will be able to see a bit more of some more battle stages. Let's put it that way. Those will come via Twitter. Having said that, I'm learning from that now. Those backgrounds will also be placed in the same folder than everything that we've been putting in terms of sneak peeks for you guys to use in your posts as you think it's best as a deal. So all those resources are available. The video from today is already in there. So if you want to use it already for your post, feel free to use it. And then, like I mentioned a bit ago, we are going to release some animated backgrounds via the Twitter account. So keep an eye on that. And as soon as they are released there, we will also put them in the folder.
Okay. Perfect. Yeah, and then I was going to be starting a chat Hermes with you and Syoska, who had created that nostalgic Pokemon thing as well. He's very busy, but he said in the free time that he does have, he would love to, potentially get involved to whatever level he's able to.
Sounds
So
good.
we could start that, and then if there's anyone else that could possibly, maybe around, I think what I'm envisioning is if we were to lock down some, time to, grow upon what we could possibly do to maximize his time with, creating more content for, the outside world looking in to just kind of encapsulate what we're about. I think that it could be really big. I know Matt and a lot of the team has been hyper focused on all the angles of, the season two actual game and like, making sure that they can try to learn from what they've learned so far throughout all this and prevent and just, have the best kind of product moving forward. But yeah, so I'll start that with us and we'll see what we can do.
Sounds good. Answering already what Miko was asking in the chat, because I can see you guys. Actually, I realize I don't have the chat on for the recording. I have it on my own account, but not for the recording. There we go. So people on YouTube can see your questions as well. Someone was asking if that means no launch of V2 this week. No launch of V2 this week. No. As far as I can say it because Matt isn't here now. As far as I'm aware, the V2 is planned for literally the end of the month. So I know you guys want it right now because the tokens are going down, but yeah, no, it's not gonna happen. Unfortunately, I don't think even with the launch of the game right now, this instance, the token would go up immediately, because the market today has been, let's put it a bit of a bloodbath at the moment. I opened my portfolio today and I immediately closed it because everything was in the reds. But no, the plan is for the end of the month.
I say we
Hopefully by
launch it
the
on
end.
the 4th of July. No, I'm just kidding. No, but yeah, like end of June, like getting into like the warmer, at least here in the US, right? Or this or that. There's so many different markets in the space of investing in general, and then crypto, you got US, you got Europe, you got Asian markets, whatever. But like I feel like for me, in my experiences, like end of June into early July usually has some pretty dang good kicks. And I think we're going to line up with that. And yeah, and like regardless of the whole market, the meme coin market can and does, and I do believe we will, you know, fight against whatever's going on, right? Every community establishes and believes what the value of their coin is. And, so regardless of the big daddy Bitcoins and this and that, have all this major effect, on the whole market, meme coins, and the communities that support them, we decide what the value is, right? So yeah, I think we're gonna have a good kickoff with this.
Answering a panic question there. Not on the 28th Friday. Yes, I am trying to battle to make sure it doesn't happen on the Friday, precisely because of the reasons you're all thinking, which is weekends are terrible, and if something happens right after the release, we definitely won't have the devs as available as soon as possible. So it might end up happening on the 1st, if that's the case. So it happens on, right, because June only has 30. Why am I getting my months completely confused? No, I'm getting months right. So yeah, so it might happen on the 1st of July instead of the 28th of June, just to avoid the Friday. Don't take these as guaranteed dates though, okay? Like the info I got is end of the month. I have already spoken out my part on those talks about let's avoid the Friday precisely because of that. Okay. While Matt doesn't show up, and since we
Yeah,
don't have
I don't know if you
anyone,
got a message from. I just did. He's dealing with some personal thing. There's a chance he's gonna try to make it in, but if not, I'll see if I can
no
keep
worries.
bringing him.
We'll
Okay.
we'll move on to the VC questions and move along from there. Oh, you guys added a bunch of them since last time I looked this morning. Okay, let me then try and find the beginning of this. Should start here. Okay. Hey, first question that I already knew was here. Question for the AMA: is season 2 still on track? Zeus, you want to say yes or do I say yes?
Yeah, no, it is. Yeah.
Okay, we both say yes. I think they're just joking with us at this point because this question comes every week.
Yeah.
It's still on track as far as I'm aware. Nothing happened that has stopped it. It's still, everything is on track as planned. Okay. Estimate on how much or how many. Actually, even I am having that tell you how much percentage is ready for the launch. I think that would be the correct English for this. Like, is everything ready and just waiting to flick the switch, or the devs still working on some key functionalities until the end of June? So, do we launch earlier or the next day? Because in the past we have learned that one, Matt may call the shots, but dev is king. I'll have a conversation about this dev is king conversation because I saw there was a couple of questions here about that. So I'll go for that. Dev work at their own pace, not so much, and dev have limited availability on the weekends. Come on, it's a weekend. It's a work thing. You guys don't work on the weekends as well. Poor devs have a right to rest as well. Okay, I can start answering this and then Zeus can complement this. Okay, so percentages of game ready for launch. It is not ready to flick the switch and it's on. I know that I occasionally joke when you guys say, "Okay, you can launch the game right now," and they say, "Yeah, we're just gonna press the button. That's it." It is not the case. It is almost ready, as you guys saw from the dev leak. That is not just recording if someone pressed the button and had a pre-programmed thing to going on. No, that was actually already the game running with the components integrated into it. And if you check the devlog from today, we do mention that there's already a bunch of components that are working together. They are now adding one of the things I didn't add on the devlog because there wasn't enough space, and to be honest, it would be a bit confusing on the devlog if I wrote it, which is they are now adding some VFX for the intros and for the victories as well. So that's the major thing missing at the moment is those little things at the beginning. So the intros, when the fighter enters the arena, and when the fighter wins any of the battles. Honestly, in terms of percentage, I would say like 95%. I think it's literally just now. We've reached the stage where it's just connecting the little things together and making sure that everything works together and that nothing breaks down because it's connected to something else. So that's why I'm pretty sure that when the day comes, we'll be able to release it. There might be bugs because there's always bugs in games. As much as you try to hunt them down, there's always going to be something that was missed. But the game seems to be quite stable from what I've seen so far.
Yeah.
Okay, the other thing is devs work at their own pace. Not so much. We do have deadlines for the devs. So I say team in general has deadlines for the devs, as any job. And if you don't comply with those deadlines, then something might be wrong, and you do have to justify why you didn't reach that deadline. Having said this, of course, these deadlines are pre-arranged with the devs. We can't just give them, "Oh yeah, you have 1 week to do 50% of the game." Of course, that would be completely idiotic and impossible to do. So it is discussed with the devs. They say, "We need this. How long will it take to do this?" And they do give us an estimate. And normally, what is done is we add a bit of extra time on top of that to make sure that the deadlines are fulfilled. Okay. So the whole story that you guys like to put that the devs are kings, they decide everything. No, it's like we set deadlines for them, they reach the deadlines, it's fine. The only thing is, obviously, if the dev tells us, "Okay, this isn't ready yet," or something happened and I haven't finalized this, then we can't just tell them, "Shame on you, go, you're fired," because it's going to take us much more time than waiting the 1-2 days extra instead of it's going to take us less time to wait those 1-2 days extra than firing this person and getting another person that we need to onboard for 3 months. Okay. And then the last thing, which is devs have a limited availability on the weekends. It's like I told you guys. I mean, it's the weekend. People do need to have their breaks, their stops, otherwise they burn out. It's like you guys. You reach your weekend. I can tell that the weekend, like for example, for the raids and for the social media interactions, all that, it all goes down because you guys have your own weekend, and not everyone's a Hermes that's here all day. Okay. Anything that you want to add, Zeus?
Yeah, no, that was perfect. I'll mirror what you said. I was gonna personally say 96% done, but 95% is probably more calculated.
I didn't
Yeah,
know that it's pretty.
no,
You get
exactly.
confused when I said 86.
Right, right. Yeah, and then yeah, no, we have great devs and they're doing amazing and like just mentioned, just buttoning things up, right? And but yeah, everything's looking good on schedule and yeah, I think we have the right team formed. We're all clicking and growing and learning how, we operate together and I'm sure it'll only continue to evolve and yeah, and we'll see if we can get Seoska in the mix to what level and or on the side and we just be a bridge and then start firing off on all cylinders. So yeah.
Okay. Then we have a question about actually 1st of July would be better for launch than because it's a Monday, so we already mentioned that as a side note. I didn't even realize it was actually a question. Then we have again the question about the devs are controlling over the project. I think this was more than answered before. Let me just read the entire thing because you guys write. You don't write questions, dude. You write like 5 paragraphs, and I've said this before. There's a bit of a break in these moments because I do try to avoid reading the questions before, and I don't send them to Zoos or to Matt precisely, so the answers are as honest as we can be. So we don't have a pre-written script to read these questions. Sometimes there are problems in the region we can't reach them. Time zones. It's time zones. It's occasion, like I said, sometimes it's errors that they don't register on their side because it's not a server issue. So it is something that if you're playing, you immediately notice. When you guys tell me, I tend to reach out to them immediately. But it does take some time to try and figure out, okay, what is broken, because the easiest way of finding a problem, I'll address this with a bit more detail. You know what the easiest way of finding a problem in the game, and this is from someone that's been working in the game industry for 12 years, is you stop the game. We stop the game. Trust me, you can find the errors in like half an hour. But if we stop the game for half an hour completely, like everything, getting everything back online, it will take you almost a day sometimes. So yeah, we do try not to do this unless it's something really drastic, like the error we had the other day. Okay, and then there was the thing about the devlog that was delayed because of that. Like I said, they had initially they thought they could finish this more fancy version of the sneak peek for today. They worked actually during the nighttime because they was doing this was actually in Europe, and they didn't manage and they apologized and they sent me that, and they promised that they were going to have the full version a few days later. Then there's a question: is what if thousands of people are battling and we're offline for 12 hours? Hell breaks out and the price of MK will tank out and the players will move to another game. And that's why we're precisely trying to avoid this kind of things of setting everything down. And that's why we are shifting more towards having the services all on our end without depending so much on third parties. Because I would say 75% of the problems we had so far have been related with third parties. So if we actually have everything running in-house, it's more expensive. It does take us much more effort, but at least we are comfortable that if anything happens to break because everything is in-house, we can fix it almost immediately. I hope that has answered all the questions from this massive monologue that was happening here. I hope I didn't miss anything. If I did, Miko, do let me know. Anything to add, Zeus? I shouldn't need to say this.
No, no, yeah, no, yeah. It never hurts to be prepared, right? Fortune favors the prepared and the brave or whatever, right? But yeah, but no. So yeah, you do your best to try to be prepared for all the different variables and scenarios and this and that. But even in the midst of like things that don't go according to plan, all you can do is improvise, adapt, and overcome, right? And then us as a community and our strength and creative solutions, etc., right? So even in the midst of whatever could come, right? And like let's say 12 hours down and people are about to burn their laptops and whatever, could a few heroes rise from the ashes and say, hey, let's get an MK freaking game of poker going, let's do this, let's do that, whatever, right? things are going to go on. We're going to keep moving and grooving on. But I think that, like you just said, Hermes, having it in-house was going to help prevent a lot of the things that have happened so far. And while it is more expensive, it's easier to maintain and control. So I think we're looking at it from all the angles, and things are going to be, a lot better, moving forward.
Okay, major milestones. Actually, let me just double check if there's any items. Oh, there is. I thought I'd seen something popping up. There you go. Guess who's coming over?
What was that?
Guess who's coming over to the stage?
Time Bandit.
Uh,
Yeah,
Yeah,
there we go.
it's time for the time bandit slot. Hello,
Yeah,
how are you today?
the thing, Zeus guy was fortune prepares the fortune. What was it?
Yeah, now I'm getting
I
tripped
can't
up.
read it, man. It got me all messed up.
Yeah,
Uh,
so yeah, fortune favors the prepared, and then
Mind.
fortune favors the brave, obviously, is,
Yeah,
that other guy.
fortune favors the prepared mind. And I also have one. You don't always need a plan. Sometimes you just need balls. But this
Yeah,
time we need a plan.
yeah,
It's really good to hear that you're going in house. I really think that is a great idea. That way, like you said, if we can fix it, we can fix it. Don't have to depend on somebody else because that's getting to be kind of hard in this world.
agreed,
Yeah.
agreed.
And
One of the things
also
they had
love.
was basically, sorry, one of the things they had was the randomness. So for the flip of the coin, and the reason why they had it as an outside service was precisely to avoid any issues of, you're doing everything on your side. You're clearly manufacturing the numbers. So, but clearly it's been causing more problems lately than it brings benefits. And I think by now everyone has realized that we will have no benefits in manufacturing the numbers, and because season 2 will not depend so much on random numbers, we can actually do it now in house.
That's good. I also saw all the hype, a little bit of hype anyway, about the battle. 15,000 plus the 500,000 bets. That's huge. Uh, and so that's great. Um, I want to know if there's going to be a way to put a battle chat in on the arena, because when that 15,000th battle was going on, and we had a great time on uh, Telegram, just BSing about the battle. It was great. That would be so good to have that in the channel or in the arena.
You guys were BSing about a battle. I was just praying that this thing wouldn't break on that battle.
I agree, though. A battle chat, in the arena would be a super solid addition. I don't know if, that'll be like able to come out at launch of, season 2, but could it be worked in the mist up to season 3? I don't see why not, right? It's not too crazy of a thing, I would
No,
overall.
it has been mentioned before
Well, we have it
on
right
player
here on
feedback.
Discord. I mean, we're doing a speaking with a chat. I
Yeah,
mean, is it?
exactly, right. Oh,
I think
okay.
it's more of a matter of the team having a think in terms of UI and in terms of how much extra load it would make. Because there's one thing that we can't ever forget, which is the games will run on the browser. So we do try to alleviate the load that they will cause. Because as much as we try browser games, I always have a bit of a big pull on machines, especially if you like using stuff like Chrome, which is a memory consuming beast of its own. But it has
I
been
can
mentioned
barely
before.
hear you.
Yeah, I do apologize. I can't really go higher than this. Not sure if it's because of my voice, if it's because of the microphone.
It's the mic because it was the same last week. When you get excited, I can hear you.
But it's the usual mic. I haven't changed anything from the initial setups from the start, so I have no idea what's going on. What I was saying is we have heard the feedback about the chat before. I think it was actually a few months ago, and it has been discussed. It will not be introduced on this season. I can tell you that for sure, or at least not at the beginning. But it hasn't been like put to the side and say, "Oh no, we don't want to have a chat in there in any way." So it's clearly something that has been considered. and is still being considered. We just need to figure out a way of having it without, like I said, making it too much of a hog in terms of resources, and B, make sure that it actually works with the current UI, so it doesn't, so we don't end up with a complete cluster of windows all over the place because there's a chat, there's a betting, there's a fight, there's all sorts of things there.
Yep, I understand. Well, that's pretty much it from Texas. I'm just buying the dip and letting her rip. Come on, guys.
Buying that dip and letting it rip. Love it, good sir. And yeah, I personally want to see videos of Jack leg pressing 1,000 pounds for every 1,000 fights, right? So 15,000. I want to see a 15 rep, 1,000-pound leg press, right? And maybe one day we'll even have a little corner in the arena for him and his gym, and he's just eating weights in there, and he got these memes training for battle, right? But yeah, no, 15,000 is a big thing, right? And one day, very soon, it could be 150,000, and like
Sure.
the exponential growth of a project, and especially when you hit milestones, catalysts, it's like, wow, and it's always interesting and fun to look back and reflect. And you'll be able to listen to all these times that Time Bandit brought us into perspective with the number of battles and, where we're at. And yeah, it's, let's just keep growing this. Yeah. And I
And I
appreciate you.
see. I also see that people are using the little tutorial because Jared from Subway is not eating as well as he was, and that's a great thing. I'm glad they're using it.
Yeah, Jared from Subway, that guy loves to frickin' eat, but you guys are helping him, get thin for the summer, or whatever. Or yeah. So keep doing what you're doing with that, and that tutorial did seem to help.
Y'all have a good one, man. I'll see you next week. Tell Matt that he can come on here while I'm on here. I'm not gonna bite him.
Roger that. I'll pass it along. Thank you, good sir.
All right. Y'all have a good one.
Hey, you too.
While you guys were having that conversation, I was mucking around with my settings. Hopefully this has improved the sound a bit more. I've run out of options here. So okay, we had, and we still have, another person to come on stage. So today's the day of the usual suspects. So we have Alan joining us again. Good day, sir.
Hey guys. Hello, can you listen to me well?
Loud and clear.
Yeah, man. Sorry, my voice is kind of crazy. I think it's something that's affecting the whole world. It seems, right?
Exactly. We all have the
Crazy,
same thing.
crazy.
Yeah.
Just crazy, just crazy. It reminds us of something, right? Guys, okay, I see that probably that Matt guy is not going to come today, right? There's no trouble. My question to you guys about marketing, because I know that we have started with the Herman von Salsa thing there, which is great. I think it's a very, very clever thing. It helps us get on top of X, of Twitter, and of the posts and everything. But actually, we're getting closer and closer. I know that the markets are red, and sometimes it's a bit more difficult to spend money on direct marketing, on paid Google ads, right? If the markets are red. But at the very same time, we have the dilemma because season two is approaching, and if we're gonna have that uh, at the end of June or 1st of July, we only have pretty much, I don't know, 10, 13 days, and these things takes time, right? To get it all complete, to start to just hit the button, publish the Google ad, for example, or to upload the video. So this takes some time. So this is my question: is marketing, like paid marketing, starting this week? Do you guys have a plan about that?
So I'm not completely inside the marketing side, as I mentioned before, more on the community side. I just help a bit with coordinating stuff with you guys. As far as I'm aware, the plan for marketing, and I think Matt has mentioned this in the previous AMA, is not related to the market situation. So even if the market's completely in red and everything's on fire, the marketing will still carry on. The goal here is to have the marketing as close to the launch as possible. Because the thing is, if we start announcing it now, without having anything out yet, it doesn't quite work. Well, you guys see it, and you guys have been here for a while. Most people come in and say, "Oh, is there a game out?" And it's like, "Oh, yeah, in 2 weeks." Oh, 2 weeks is too long, right? I mean, so there's no point on us wasting resources doing marketing 2 weeks before. What's planned, as far as I'm aware, is the marketing to happen much closer to the launch, during the launch, and after the launch, precisely to bring fresh meat into the game and bring UIs, have everything when everything's already set up or very close to being set up. You are correct in terms of the part of clicking the button won't just activate everything in one go. Those things are being taken care of in the background, so things will be launched after right before the game, during the game, and after the game. But they are already being worked on, and this actually goes with another question that I saw when I was looking at the questions. I do apologize because I've now lost the channel because I'm an idiot. Where someone actually says, tells them more about the main marketing campaign. Is this exactly the same as the pre-sale marketing, or it's going to be bigger? As far as I'm aware, it's going to be the same style, because the first time it worked, I mean, we raised the 10 million. I don't see any reasons why it would change. Making it bigger won't bring us much more than we have right now. If we realize during the time that we're doing the marketing that it's not enough, then we'll see if we need to increase it or change something that's not working anymore for some reason. But at this point, I put my faith on the part of the team that's involved in the marketing. They know what they're doing. They've done their research. They know how to spend the resources the best way possible instead of just launching. Because this is what happens with many, not just crypto, but many industries, which is they just launch money into the ether and hope it works. And most of the times it doesn't, because it's not planned out.
Okay, yeah. So as far as I can understand, so probably something. Of course, I'm not expecting exactly a date, but probably because the idea that I was discussing, I believe it was with Time Bandit, and we agree with that, would be just like 7 days of marketing, something like that. So it really does make sense if you're gonna release the game on the end of June, like next week. So probably, I'm not demanding any kind of answer, but it just makes sense, right? So having something for a start next week, because you're gonna have like 7 days, something like that. It makes sense.
Yes, that's what I'm expecting as well. I'm expecting things to start showing up next week in terms of articles and videos and stuff like that. And then carrying on. So not just the 7 days, but actually carrying on after the launch of the game. So to carry on bringing people, especially because what's going to happen most likely with the YouTubers mainly is they'll be able to play the game after it is launched. So most of the YouTube content will probably happen after the launch itself. So before will mainly be articles, and then no, Time Ban, I'm not killing the Brazilian. Most of the things before will be written marketing, and then during the launch and after the launch will be more visual. So YouTubers, KOLs, that kind of stuff. At least that is what I've been told is going to happen. Yep.
No, guys. Perfect. No, actually, very, very good answer. Thank you so much. And Hermes, your voice now is very, very louder, man. Probably you know. Yeah, it is really. It's
you guys are never happy. It's either too loud or too low.
No. I'm actually not complaining. It's just great. Something happened there, and I believe that you may be speaking louder. Just that.
I'll try to compensate a bit for it since you guys are complaining.
No, just great, guys. Just great. And thank you for saying my name correctly again. Okay, guys.
Always a pleasure, Alan. Okay.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your time as well.
Thank you.
Let me just move you back to the audience. Okay. I think we actually don't have many more questions. Let me just double check. Because in the meantime, the last remaining questions was basically the marketing. I'm not going to tell you about the band, Mando. You know that. I'm not allowed. get fired the second I mention anything about the ban. There is no ban, and there was a ban. First articles, then YouTubers and influencers after launch. Yes, like I said, as far as I'm aware, that is the plan from the marketing side. There is one last question, which is major milestones behind us: number of battles, wagered number of bets. These are all proofs of a stable platform and could significantly help our reputation. Why has none of these been published outside of Twitter? In fact, we still don't have any paid articles. PRs and other media outlets covered to get more hype for the season to release. So part of this question was already answered right now. So the reason why you haven't seen anything yet, as far as I'm aware, the plan is, well, that's what I'm expecting, is starting next week we'll start seeing the articles. And of course, in those articles, we'll use these milestones as a promotional material. So the Twitter part was more of a, how can I put it, a proof of stability, not just for us, but also for you guys to see, yes, things are happening. And also there is a reason that we can point out these things when season 2 gets launched and say, look, we actually had these things before, and they worked for this long, we managed to reach these milestones. And then obviously then for the articles, we can mention them with much more importance, because we can actually not just have one or two, but actually have them all in one place. Say, oh, Meme Kombat has been running since this date, and they have reached all these milestones already, and now they have season 2. So it does create a much more complete image and a better profile for Meme Kombat than if we just did one at a time. Right? If you saw an article that says Meme Kombat has reached 500,000 battles, yeah, cool, but it wouldn't bring you much attention. But if you have an article that says Meme Kombat has reached 500,000 battles, has reached this amount of bets, has reached these amount of numbers and players, it's much more appealing to have all those numbers together. Zeus, anything that you add?
Yeah, no, great way of summarizing it. Yeah, so just how do you, encapsulate all the different angles of what we are, all the success in the arena and the vision of like where we're going and the growth and the building that's happening in incremental stages and steps. So yeah, we will, masterly perfect our pitches, our content mixed with our articles and telling that story. Matt has a great team of marketing people and SEO people, as many of you know, right? So the key to that is top of mind awareness, right? It seems like ads follow you, right, in this day and age. So you talk about shoes or look at them once on Amazon, and then that ad follows you everywhere, right? Top of mind awareness. So then everywhere you go, it's subconsciously like saying like, oh wow, this thing is something I want to be a part of. I need in my life, MK is something I need in my life, right? I want to be a part of this group, this, like this community, like they're doing it differently, right? This is, unique compared to what you typically see in this space. And, that's what we need to work on with how we, craft these articles, craft our content, is just showing how unique we are. And and then just slowly aligning that with like where we're going, right? So some talks need to still happen, with Matt and key players and how we, do all those things. So yeah, great question and great job summarizing it, Hermes. Yeah.
Okay, my pleasure. This was the last one, as far as I could see. Two last notes before we leave, at least from my side. One of them is, yes, the Zeal is coming out today. If you actually go and check it, I think it shows already too that there's a Zeal coming at 2 hours more or less from now on. This time it will be slightly different in terms of prizes, because there's no USD this time. It's all MK. But there are 5 winners this time instead of 3, plus the 2 random ones. So there's going to be 7 winners out of the sprint. It's the biggest number of winners we ever got out of a sprint so far. The second thing is Luku is not around today. Lucky boy. I hope he's enjoying it. Hey, Luku, this is Hermes from the past. Wishing you a safe trip. He's traveling today. So the short version of the AMA that he normally does, that he publishes immediately, will not appear today immediately. I will have one in a few minutes, but it will take a bit longer. So do not panic. Do not start pinging the poor man because he hasn't published anything yet. Okay, he's just not around today. Okay, Zeus, anything else to finish?
No, amazing job as always, Hermes, and amazing questions. Time Bandit and Alon. I hope I said that right.
Yeah, there you go. See, I knew he was gonna. I was going to trade him to start saying your names properly.
Right. And, so yeah, we got Alon, we got, so we got the Brazilian Batman, we got Hermes, we got the European Batman, and we got Zeus over here in the US representing the Americanized Batman. But yeah, I hope this throat bug, gets subsided across the globe because it's wild. This is spreading. Before you know it, we're all just gonna be doing a texting friggin' YouTube AMA, right? But yeah, let's keep rocking this. And as Hermes said, we should have some animated background sneak peeks coming your way. So all these things will help to showcase, what's to come very soon. And then let's just slowly get that out. Not slowly. Let's rapid fire get that out, blast it out, and the week leading up to I think will be huge, and then the weeks after will be huge. So let's keep on, the pedal to the metal and excitement and hope, and it's gonna be big. Appreciate you guys.
Okay, everyone, have a nice rest of the day, and see you around in whatever platform you prefer: Discord, Telegram, YouTube, or even Zilly this week. Speak to you guys later. Bye.